Did anybody else see that right there? How I'm conditioning him. I know it's like I'm not really doing the best punish afterwards because I don't care. But doing like a jab 1, I'm gonna make a video of that as well. Because he's letting me do that jab 1. And realistically, if I wanted to, I could do a jab 1 and then just get a grab like that. And then win the game. So that's one thing a lot of people just don't do at all. Is use their jabs. Like a jab 1. Because jab 1 only does like 1%. Right? But it conditions people to be like, he might do the whole thing. He might do the whole multi-jab. So I'm just going to stay in shield.
Fire!
How's it going, everyone? This is Trixx from MoS Trixx, and in this video we're going to be talking about shield conditioning, but specifically with jabs and running on shield. You've maybe seen a high-level player run on someone's shield before, or maybe you even had it happen to you. And you may have asked yourself, why did that work? How did they know that it was safe to run on my shield like that, and how did they know when I was going to drop shield? How did they just know that I wasn't going to do anything? Well, this is an outcome of multiple exposures of conditioning throughout the match or throughout an entire set. They may have noticed a pattern or a sense of timing that you constantly go for certain options whenever they get close to your shield. I'm going to stray a little bit away from Smash Ultimate for a minute with this next example. There is a term known as fight or flight. Should I defend myself or should I run? And everyone has this fight or flight clock in their subconscious. That's why, for example, sometimes you'll be in a match and you and the opponent will run at each other and both shield and then both go for a grab at the exact same time. This is an example of fight or flight at work. The series of events that go on in your head go something like this. A scenario is unfolding, is it safe to act, and then the action itself. And of course, there are many reasons to stay in shield because more often than not, most characters in the cast have kill options that are not throws. But since this fight or flight process happens so quickly, players can find themselves dropping shields at the worst times. Maybe one of the reasons why you are staying in shield is because your opponent is very aggressive with their pokes. And because of this, you've been conditioned to be afraid of situations like this. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. However, you've now allowed your opponent to have access to run on your shield. I also want to talk about the importance of conditioning a shield with jab 1. An experienced player knows that jab 1 can result in many different situations unfolding. They may delay their jab and catch you with a finisher. They may even mix you up to try and bait a grab and then punish you even worse. All of these situations are conditioning you whether you like it or not. There's no such thing as good or bad conditioning, just conditioning in and of itself. Conditioning can't be avoided, but you can be aware of your opponent's character and what the worst possible outcomes are, provided that you allow yourself to get conditioned in the way that they want to condition you. If your opponent has conditioned you to think that they're going to go for grabs, then getting grabbed in some situations is better than being hard punished for a shield drop. With all this being said, one of the best defenses to this situation is to try and act earlier so that you can catch them off guard for their option. I also want to mention that this technique is much more viable at high and top level play because they respect their opponent's character's options. More often than not at low level play, players don't understand the consequences of jumping out of shield early, and so conditioning a new player can be much more difficult. So in other words, the fact that this actually worked on this Zero Suit player is because they were actually a good player. If they weren't, they probably would have rolled, spot dodged, or jumped immediately. And so I urge you guys to try this out in future matches to see if you've actually conditioned someone without even being aware of it. Although this is a small tip, it's a very powerful bit of advice and you'd be very surprised at how often you can actually get it to work. And lastly, I'd like to mention that I'm going to be streaming live on Twitch on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern and Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern. This gives me a great opportunity to answer a lot of your questions live as well as play with viewers. And who knows, maybe one of your questions may turn into a video just like this. And with that, that's going to be it for the video. Once again, this is Trixx from MoS Trixx saying thanks for watching the video and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this.